welcome to Bikesport News TV. This week the show comes from Brands Hatch for the 5th round of the British Superbike Championships. Coming up on today's show, we talked to Kiyo about fitting into the build-based BMW garage, find out who insurance giants Bennett have decided to back this year, and American supersport rider James Rispoli tells us about making the switch from Suzuki to the Yamaha. Insurance giants Bennett have selected 2 riders to run under their banner for 2014. We spoke to Josh Owens and Rory and their mentor Neil Hodgson about this season so far.
I'm actually working for Bennett's. Bennett's have done it's like a scholarship really, where they're trying to help a couple of young riders, so they're sponsoring some young riders. It's always easier, I always think, to put money behind the already well-established riders, and you know, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get publicity. But what they're doing is they're giving money at the grassroots of the sport, right at the beginning, where these young lads are showing a bit of a potential. This is the hardest point for young kids, because it's mum and dad racing. It's very expensive, and you know, it's an expensive hobby. So, you know, we see these families run out of money really quickly, so what Bennett's are doing is absolutely superb.
I'm grateful that Bennett's picked me up, and it's even better that they've got an expert like Neil to give you, well, coach you and give you tips and advice.
I really appreciate it, because he doesn't have to do it, does he? But he's coming along and helping, and it's really appreciated by me and my dad, to be honest. So
I think now we're all a bit more aware, a bit more savvy about how the industry works, and if I can help him, as with Rory Skinner, the same sort of situation. You know, if I can help him along the way and help prevent him from going down a few of the pitfalls that are out there. There's a lot of pitfalls in this paddock, a lot of mistakes you can make in your career. If I can help him with a bit of advice there, and certainly with his riding, give him a few tips on lines and riding style and techniques, then, you know, it's better for him. How many seasons have you been riding for?
This is my 6th year.
He's been riding for 6 years and he's only 12. But the fact that he's been riding for so long shows that he's leading the Super Teens Championship. I mean, he's the youngest ever race winner in that class. And the Super Teen Championship is such a well-respected championship around the world. I mean, even Casey Stoner came and raced at that and won at that level. So it's got a lot of credibility. Rory's 12, Josh is 14. I mean, just when you think back to when you were that age, you know, it's not just the bravado that they've got, it's their ability. I mean, Josh is a really talented rider. You know, he's floating inside the top 10 in the British Championship, and he's still relatively new to the sport. It's something that genuinely I do enjoy, and as you're probably aware, I've been in this paddock for 20 years. I've been in the sport for 30 years. You know, so for me to give a little bit back, and it's not just, you know, riding, saying turn into that corner, brake later. A lot of it's about advice on his career. Because Rory's a special talent. You know, I've seen a lot of young kids coming through. I've never seen someone as fast as him at such a young age. So he has genuinely got the potential to go a long way in this sport. But you have to make the right decisions now and not go down the wrong path and waste 2 or 3 years.
It's sponsorship, really. Red Bull Rookies is the way to go, or Spain. So hopefully I can get in one of those championships and see if I can get into MotoGP.
Everyone wants to go with GP, don't they? But it's not always the way. Some people stay in the BSB paddock and just stay in the superbikes. But it depends. There's people who are coming through and coming out, so there's someone new might come in and just wipe the floor of everyone. So you never know where you're gonna go.
3-time British Superbike champion Ryuichi Kiyonari is a rejuvenated rider. With a new bike and a new team, he's finally got rid of those Honda demons.
Problems, me. First time riding here BMW, that's why I have to do many laps, and I learn something, and lap by lap getting fast. I cannot, how to say, I don't know, I cannot compare other team, you know. This team is good. I enjoy this team, I'm happy. We always try hard. You know, always, I never give up, but all the Kiyo, all the me back. For sure, I'm old now, you know, older than before. I don't know, older me or new team, new bike, new season. I hope rest of season I can finish podium always, or always win, but not easy, you know. In BSB, many fast rider, strong rider. Yeah, I can feel support from British fans, Japanese fans, also sponsors, friends. You know, always support a lot. That's why I can try and I can keep positive. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. My first target, I have to finish top 6, then final 3 rounds. Just try hard.
American supersport rider James Rispoli has made the switch from Suzuki to Yamaha here at Brands Hatch, and the team traction control rider has been telling us all about it.
We hit the reset button big time, so it's round 1 for us, Brands Hatch all over again. We can't discredit what we've done because we have done pretty well since going to a couple new tracks, and we've been on the pace. So we'll use that in the bank for when we go back to them. But for right now, it's about getting close to the front, learning with the front guys, and just being in the top 5 week in, week out. These guys, a lot of them have come from the world stage or have had a sniff at the world stage, so they know how competitive it is over there. And from free practice 1 on, we're on lap record pace, and they don't slouch ever. So they're always, if you're not giving it 100%, you're not anywhere close near the front. At the world stage and pretty much every form of racing, the Yamahas they're doing well, they're winning, they're competitive everywhere. You don't really see the Suzuki competitive in a lot of series. So, we just think it's the future of the team, and I think it's the future of what I can do and, be able to run where I need to be up with the front guys and be on a competitive motorcycle. It's just so much easier to ride, it's fast, it's competitive. I'm pulling people back in that have been driving away from me all season, so I'm very excited and it's very comfortable to ride. Obviously, my ultimate goal is to get to the world stage, and that's where I want to be, but we have to work through the stepping stones, and this is a great championship. There's a lot of great backing, there's a lot of fans, and there's a lot of great competition to get there. So, right now we just want to get a couple results in the super sport class and, hopefully next year win the championship and then see where it takes us. There's a lot of great aspects about Keith that he can help me with, even though he's in music and I race motorcycles. He's really cool because he understands the pressure, he understands how it is to perform. He gives me a lot of advice, and he keeps me relaxed, and to have somebody just so humbling because he's so cool, and your team owner is cooler than you are. It's awesome to have his team owner, and definitely it's very cool to have a rock star.
I've been catching up with Jason O'Halloran. He's been giving Danny Buchan a run for his money in the Pirelli National Superstock 1000 class, and he's been telling me about his race ambitions.
Yeah, the season for us started fairly strong. We had a podium here at the first round, and then backed it up with a podium at Alton Park. And then the last 2 rounds, Snetterton and Knockhill, have been a little bit tougher for us. I qualified well at Snetterton, but we had a tough race. And at Knockhill, I qualified bad and had a quite good race. We come through the pack, and at the end, we're in the battle for the podium. We just missed out on the last lap. But it was the first time I finished a race at Knockhill for 4 years. I've never disliked the place. I always enjoy going there and enjoy riding there. I just never seem to have been able to finish a race or get a result. So to finish there, have a strong race that I was feeling really positive about was good for me and good for the team. Now coming back to probably one of them, favourite circuits on the track, Brands GP, is we're in a good positive mood. I've won here before. I won here in 2012. I've had pole positions here, and I really enjoy the circuit, the atmosphere, everything about the event. So this weekend I've been working really hard in between Knockhill and here, and I feel like this has got to be our weekend. I need to start. If I want to be in the hunt for the championship, I need to win this weekend, and that's what I'm here to do. This year when I done my deal with Honda, it was part of my deal to do some superbike testing with them, and help them with their program with the development of the Fireblade. So Knockhill was I'd had a little run on it in Spain earlier in the year, but Knockhill was my first full day on the bike, and it was a really good test. The pace was strong. It was competitive. We tested everything that we wanted to test. Found some good positive things with the new parts that we had, and everybody left there feeling confident and in a positive mood. So I think we achieved everything that we wanted to, and now I look forward to the next one later in the year.
Peter Hickman has gone from absolutely no ride in 2014 to spot on the RAF Reserves Honda squad in BSB. He has come back from a fantastic debut at the TT, where he was crowned the fastest newcomer ever.
My first ever road race is in the Northwest. and then moving on to the TT straight afterwards. And yeah, I had an amazing few weeks. Best newcomer at both, and best newcomer ever at the TT, so I can't have asked for any more, and really enjoyed the experience. I started speaking to Lee around the time we were at the TT really, and I had a proper meeting with them at Snetterton for the third round of the championship, and we seemed to get on really well, and they were really happy with me and what I'd done in the past, and I was quite happy with them, you know, so things just kind of progressed on from there. I've not done a lot of laps on the bike at the minute. I've literally done Knock Hill, and then we had a wobble around on a track day at Cadwell on Tuesday, so I definitely need a lot more laps, but the good news is, because I've ridden a Honda before, I roughly know where I need to be with it. So it's a good start. Championship-wise, I missed the first kind of 3 rounds, really. I should be able to be finishing inside the top 10, and if we're inside the top 10, I'll be fairly happy with that.
One rider that was missing from the starting grid at Brands Hatch was Bill-based BMW rider James Westmoreland. He broke his thumb at Knock Hill and has been telling us about his attempts to get back to full fitness.
You know, it's a real shame that I'm not riding, but the second race at Knock Hill, I crashed, you know, on the first lap. It was my own fault, it wasn't ideal. And at the time, it wasn't so much a big crash, but straight away I had quite a lot of pain in my hand, and it became pretty apparent that I'd broke something. I met my surgeon on the Monday, and then on Friday I had surgery because I'd broke my thumb. So even though it's only a small, it appears and sounds like a small injury on the bike, it's everything, you know, and there's no way that I'd be able to ride with it how it is. At first I was devastated, but the more I thought about it, I've been racing for 23 years and I've never missed a race meeting through injury, so I've been very, very lucky, and yeah, it doesn't make it any easier, but I've had a good run, you know. I've got 2 wires in my hand, and they're coming out the week before Thruxton, so yeah, for sure it's going to be tight. You know, I need to assess the situation closer when we get closer to the time, but it's a real busy part of the year, and to be missing 1 round, potentially 2, is not great, but I'll do everything I can to be back on my bike at Thruxton. Honestly, I'd rather have broke my leg, as daft as it sounds, because your thumb, you know, you need your hand so much. It's not just your thumb, it is your hand, and you know, especially being my right hand as well, which is the throttle, you know, it's not great.
On Sunday, Josh Waters will be leaving the safety of the British Superbike paddock to catch a flight with Randy Depunier to Suzuka. They'll be taking part in the Suzuka 8-hour endurance race with the Yoshimura team.
The Suzuka 8-hour is a hugely famous and popular race. It's an endurance race, but a race that a lot of famous motorcycle riders have won. Valentino Rossi, Mick Doohan, that's just to name a few. It means a lot to the Japanese manufacturers also, and this year they've got all manufacturers have got factory teams in there, so it's a pretty special year. Back when I was racing in Australia, Yoshimura got me to race the Suzuka 8-hour for them in 2011 and 2012, and now I'm back with them for 2014. My teammates are both Suzuki MotoGP test riders in Randy Depunier and Takeo Suda. He's an All-Japan Superbike rider for Yoshimura, and he's very fast. We've been lucky enough to go over and do a test. I really enjoyed being back on the Yoshimura bike, and it's night and day different to the bike I ride in the British Championship. The tyres make a huge difference, and also the way they have a few other things set for the endurance race. It's great to be back on the Suzuki. I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy working with the team. They've been obviously very, very busy with all the road events, so the riding we've done has just been at the circuits. Just need to keep chipping away, and there's just something that needs to crack, and I'm sure I can be back where I want to be. The level's so high at the front to win. That's like every rider's aim. That's their aim, but I'm a little bit realist. I'd love to try and be around, you know, top 6 results and go from there. But at the minute, I just want to try and be in the top 10. Try to get to the top 10.
Stu Easton has been busy learning the ropes in the Rapids Listus Kawasaki garage. He won his first podium at Knock Hill and has been trying to emulate the pace of his teammate, current championship leader Byrne, ever since.
Coming from Super Sport from last year,
which we had a great season when we won that championship. But to come back onto a superbike, it's a different sort of level again. You know, a lot more power on a superbike, 600cc to 1000cc. So, and therefore the styles is a lot different. You know, a lot more corner speed on the 600s. So you have to make sure not fall into that trap as well, and ride it like a superbike how it needs to be ridden. I think I've sort of, you know, I've done it little patches here and there where I've proved that I can be quick enough, but it's up to me really to make it happen. I think without question the bike and the team was good enough. The other side of the garage is winning every week, so when he's winning every week and you're finishing maybe 5th, it's a little bit hard to swallow. But when I followed him home for a podium at Knockhill, I thought, you know, that's a bit more like how it should be. It was good to spray a bit of champagne, and especially up there in Scotland. It makes your drive home a bit better, you know, when you've had a podium or a result that you're happy with. But yeah, on the Monday you're thinking of the next race. So I don't know exactly what the differences have been. We need to find a bit of pace actually going into this weekend. So yeah, we need to find a bit more speed and try and be at least in the top 6 to have any chance in this championship. You have to be in the showdown. So that's the main aim, is to be consistent and score enough points to make that.
Milwaukee Yamaha's Tommy Bridewell will be making his Suzuka 8-hour debut next week, alongside Aussie champion Wayne Sideshow and Bob Maxwell. Here are his thoughts.
Never ever done an endurance. I'm looking forward to it because sometimes I feel and get frustrated with myself that my training and my fitness is too endurance orientated. It's always towards the end of the races that I still don't feel worn out and I could carry on riding for another half hour or whatever. So looking forward to doing the 50 or hour stints on the bike, whatever it is, and obviously in the heat is going to be the biggest challenge, but you know, well up for it and yeah, buzzing and ready to go. It's a new experience for me, you know, there's no expectations. You know, I'm riding for the junior team for Yacht on the 7 bike. It's just a great experience for me. And obviously it would have been nice to have tested, to have been a little bit ahead of the game, just basically to learn the track. Yeah, looking forward to making my debut there. I'm obviously going to go in and just do what I can do and, you know, hopefully keep out of trouble and have a good sort of debut. I'm not going to go and say, oh, it's going to be easy, or no, it's going to be so hard, I'm not going to last. But I should be all right. Like, you know, I think it's going to be an amazing experience, and you know, just want to sort of get the first year under my belt. So obviously going back for 2015, hopefully I can do it again and then sort of be able to expect good results. We're running Pirellis, which I believe like the sort of next step on from World Superbikes. I've never ever in my life rode a superbike without riding Pirellis. You know, back in 2007 with MB, we were obviously one of the only teams running the Pirelli tyres back then. They've come on so well, like, you know, and in World Superbikes, I've rode with the World Superbike tyres, and they are good, very good. I know the Bridgestones are perhaps going to be better. I know the Michelins and Dunlops are going to be better, but it's one of them things that if I feel like my first year there I'm being let down by the tyres or something, then I've massively gone past my expectations. So I don't think the tyres are going to be an issue. I think if anything they potentially could be you know, could be a bit of a dark horse, and I think, you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do well just because we're running Pirellis. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to do bad. So I think it should be good.
The Smiths Triumph team have had a lot of success lately, and team owner Rebecca has been telling us why.
TT was a fantastic experience for all of us. It started as a journey at Assen at BSB last year. Michael Rutter was talking to us about building a 600 for him to compete on. And my father and I had always said that we wouldn't compete at the TT. It just wasn't something that we wanted to do. The danger aspect just really didn't do it for me. We agreed to build him a bike, and that's really where the journey started. The association with Gary came about through Tim Seed, and it was all a bit of a whirlwind for me, really. I didn't anticipate, certainly not going there in our first year and winning. The process was fairly straightforward for us, really, with building the 600s for the British Championship anyway. There wasn't really that much that we needed to change. The engines were exactly the same. The electronics package was different, but we were guided by Motec throughout that. very simple things such as guards for the radiators, you know, minor differences for the roads, but other than that it was fairly simplistic. The Northwest 200 was a very good shakedown for us, and we hadn't actually anticipated going there until 2 weeks before. Gary and Michael told us it was essential to go, and I really was being guided by them. So we left to go for that, and I'm so glad that we did, because we found so many bugbears that we wouldn't have done until we got to the TT, and I don't believe we'd have been as successful as we were. We would really like to go back to the TT. I think it did help that we won in our first year, and that's what we're living, that euphoria. But it was a very, very enjoyable event, something very different, and we would really like to go back there, and hopefully in a bigger capacity as well. The triumphs in the Supersport class, fantastic. We can't fault them. The boys have worked really hard. The engine development that we did last year, we seem to really be reaping the benefits this year. We had struggles last year, so this year it's really nice to be on this winning streak, and the camp's really settled. The riders have bonded really well. The mechanics are getting on with what needs to be done, and we don't make many changes from Friday first free practice to race 2 on a Sunday evening. There's not that much that changes. Lady Luck's been on our side, but it has to end somewhere. We have aspirations to move on to bigger and better things, and that's sort of the direction that we're heading in at the moment. We want to get this championship won, certainly for either one of the 2 riders that we've got now. Although we've already won the championship, it would be nice to do it again. Whilst we'd like to, we don't really have the budget to go to World Supersport full time. That's not really in Triumph's agenda either. It's an option for us, and if that's the best thing that comes on offer, then we would go. But we're looking really to move towards a 1000cc bike, and that's the plan at the moment. It's all very hypothetical, and like I say, we're very, very happy with the package that Triumph provide us, so we're not looking to move too fast or too quickly.
Bikesport News have been speaking to Byrne about his season so far, his love affair with showy crash helmets and lid development.
We've had a great year so far, and you know, one of the funny things is that it looks like it's been wonderful, you know, but Knock Hill was actually a really, really difficult round for us. I mean, the result was good, like a first and a second is a good result, but you know, the amount of effort and the amount of how can we put it? You know, the time and the concentration that it took to achieve those results was far harder than perhaps any other round I've ever had on the Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki. We never really found our feet all weekend, and yeah, we dug out a win in race 2, but I think we were pretty lucky, to be fair. So I'm hoping for better feelings from the bike this weekend, that's for sure. I wear showy helmets because you know, as a kid coming up and through racing, my idol was always that Alpine style levers or Dainese levers and a Arai or a showy helmet, and you know, I'm in a very, very fortunate position because I get to wear the best product on the market. I get money for doing it, and yeah, you couldn't get a better product than I get supported with, so really, really happy. I wouldn't wear anything else. You know, at the end of the day, there's lots of companies who fire a few quid at you to wear the helmet, but you know, I always say you can't buy another head, and I couldn't be happier. You know, if you offer me all the money in the world to change to another manufacturer, I'd stay with Shoei and Alpine Stars. I'm a loyal guy, and I've been with both of them for like 9 or 10 years or something like that in my career, and hopefully that will never change.
Well, that's all we've got time for this episode of Bikesport News TV. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all soon.